Presents for Percy. Written by The Buried Truck. Mrs. Kyndley's health had greatly improved following her trip up to Bournemouth. No longer confined to her bedroom, she waved to the engines every day from her garden. In the lead up to Christmas, however, Percy saw less of her. She must be cold, not having a firebox. I hope she isn't ill again. He needn't have to worry. For one morning, Mrs. Kyndley stood happily on the platform.
"Oh, Percy, it's wonderful!"
She smiled.
"My family is coming from the mainland for Christmas. I get more excited every day."
Some of my friends live there too, Percy replied. I haven't seen them recently, with how busy the branch line's been. I miss them dearly. I wonder how they are spending Christmas. Percy puffed unhappily away. Mrs. Kyndley felt very sorry for him. 2 days before Christmas, Percy was waiting at the junction, when with a roar, Bertie bus skidded to a halt nearby. You shouldn't be racing in this weather, Percy scolded. This is urgent, wheezed Bertie. I was meant to collect Mrs. Kyndley's family at Barrow, but their train is stranded. The other railway has no engines to spare. It could be ages before they're rescued. We can't have that, Percy frowned. I'm sure one of the mainline engines can help. Percy tried all day, but his luck didn't match his optimism. Gordon, could you...
Can't stop, Timoth bound. No time for a branch line gossip,
the big engine called as he sailed through. I say, James, are you bound for the other railway? My stopping trains are everywhere but there, the red engine huffed. Surely you're going to the other railway, Henry?
I am,
smiled the green engine.
Tomorrow morning, that is with the flying kipper.
Core, sniffed Percy. The Kyndleys won't want to ride in your fish vans. Bother those big engines. I have to shunt coaches for years, but they can't do me one small favor. I like to show them something.
Perhaps you can.
There was Mrs. Kyndley, and Sir Topham Hatt.
Percy, would you collect my family?
Percy was so surprised. He didn't know what to think. Oh, may I, sir?
Certainly, Percy. Mrs. Kyndley is a good friend of our railway. We mustn't allow her Christmas to be spoiled. Toby will handle the goods, and has to offer to lend you Henrietta and Elsie. The signalmen know you're coming. Off you go!
Percy didn't need telling twice. In no time at all, he was steaming down the main line. Off to town, he cheered. On the other railway, 2 tank engines sat stranded with rakes of coaches. Told them I wasn't suited for these distances, the first grumbled.
Could be worse,
smoothed the smaller one.
At least we can heat the coaches for the passengers. Help will come, you watch.
A headlamp pierced through the darkness, accompanied by a boisterous whistle. Did you suppose that was our help? Smiled the first engine. Percy reached to a halt, grinning broadly. I'll change for Miss Kyndley's cottage, he called in his best express engine voice.
Point me orange and call me Scrap. Is that you, Percy?
Percy was speechless. The stranded engines were his friends, Ginty and Pug. Sandbox claws must have caught the early train. Ho ho! Ginty chuckled.
Santa Claus, Pug corrected.
What are you two doing here? Percy gasped.
It's all wheels on deck for the other railway,
Explained Pug.
Every engine that can be working is working. We are drafted to pull this lot to Barrow, but someone went and broke down. Merry Christmas to me,
Ginty groaned, rolling his eyes.
Please help our passengers,
Pleaded Pug.
Someone will come for us, eventually.
I'm not leaving you stranded, Percy snorted indignantly. You have steam, don't you, Pug? I say we get you to our works. Then I'll take the passengers on. The two take engines beamed. Their drivers agreed to the plan, and the cavalcade was off into the night. Percy and Pug worked their hardest. Ginty could only will them on.
That's it, boys. A pair of super saddle tanks you are.
At last, tired but triumphant, they reached the workstation. The Kyndleys cheered the engines to the echo as they boarded Henrietta. Percy helped Ginty and Pug to the shed. It's a cold, dark shed, Ginty observed.
Better than the cold, dark nights,
Pug retorted.
Just you be thankful Percy showed up.
I am indeed, Ginty relented with a smile. Bless you, Percy. Now you get those people to their family.
And Merry Christmas!
Pug added. Merry Christmas to you both. Seeing you two is the best present an engine could have asked for. With a final whistle, Percy set off once more, bound for the comforting sight of Miss Kyndley's cottage.